Welcome back to a new post today. Let's discuss the most important economic issues of the week gone by from January 12th to January 18th. And this is the very first issue of the economy for the week for 2025, as we have a polity and governance for the week of which we began recently for 2025. So many issues making news, especially with regard to a new board for turmeric being set up, a new spacecraft of, a new satellite being launched by a private company. Apart from that, we also have the Mobility Summit and also the Bio Manufacturing for Climate Resilient Agriculture Summit as well. The very first issue is about a turmeric board which was in demand for many months and I would say years, being set up by the Government of India under the Ministry of Commerce, and it is headquartered in Nizamabad, and Palle Ganga Reddy is the first chairperson. Now this National Turmeric Board is a state agency of Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and it will focus on research, development, value addition of turmeric products, promoting awareness of the spice medicinal and essential properties, and also work on improving turmeric yield, enhancing logistics and supply chain. Turmeric is often referred to as the golden spice, and it is a potential crop for India. India is responsible for 70% of the world's turmeric production, 30 varieties of turmeric being grown in the country. Let me tell you that the area of turmeric cultivation in 2024 was about 3.5 lakh hectares in India, and we hold 62% of the global turmeric trade on the globe, exporting 1.62 lakh tons of turmeric value. Turmeric or Curcuma longa is a flowering plant of the ginger family, Zingiberaceae, and it is a perennial rhizomatous herbaceous plant that is native to the Indian continent in Southeast Asia, and it requires temperature from 20 to 30 degrees centigrade and very high rainfall as well. Plants are gathered each year for their rhizomes, some for propagation of the next season and some for consumption. Let me tell you that the board is going to boost the production of turmeric in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, which will also increase the farmers' income. The next is about the World Economic Forum taking place at Davos. We know that the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, along with Revanth Reddy, Telangana Chief Minister, and the Indian delegation is also visiting the World Economic Forum. First of all, how did it start or initiate? So let me tell you that the German professor Klaus Schwab has founded the World Economic Forum. From 1972 to 2003, this was called as the European Management Forum. He founded it in 1971. And introduced the concept of stakeholder capitalism. Now, according to Schwab, stakeholder capitalism is a form of capitalism in which companies do not only optimize short-term profits for shareholders, but also seek long-term value creation by taking into account the needs of all of the stakeholders and especially the society at large. Now, they may meet in the Alps to consider the major global issues of the day and also brainstorm on addressing any challenges with regard to the global economy. Initially, the Schwab focused the meetings on how European firms would catch up with the US management practices. Eventually, with the collapse of the Bretton Woods fixed exchange rate mechanism and the Arab-Israeli war, the meetings seen focused expanding to management, economic and social issues as well. Davos brings together some 3,000 participants, among those like investors, business leaders, political leaders, economists, celebrities, journalists, for up to 5 days to discuss global issues and economy, especially covering almost 500 sessions. And the WEF has become a forum for various stakeholders to meet and discuss global and regional socio-economic issues. Now, last year, the major themes were artificial intelligence, geopolitical uncertainties, climate change, and slowing pace of China's economic growth. So, the WEF is largely funded by its partnering corporations. They are generally global enterprises with the annual turnover of almost $5 billion. The WEF went on to regularly it publishes Global Competitiveness Report and also the Global Gender Gap Report as well. The next issue is about the Indian Energy Week, and the Indian Energy Week is a flagship program of the event of the Government of India, being held under the patronage of the Ministry of Petroleum, Natural Gas and the Federation of Indian Petroleum Industry. It is being held at Yashbhoomi at New Delhi, and the first major event of the calendar year. It is a comprehensive global event for global partnership, especially in energy. Since its inception, now it was started in 2023, and this is the second event. The Indian Energy Week has strengthened from year passing year, and now it has surpassed other major international energy programs. So the Indian Energy Week 2025 focuses on collaboration, resilience, transition capacity, digital frontiers, innovation, leadership. And India's position as a major global market is definitely being attractive. It is India's third largest consumer of crude oil, LPG, and the fourth largest LNG importer, crude oil refiner, and also the automobile market. The demand for these energy sources as well as new and renewable energy is constantly set to rise, and India wants to be a global driver of the energy demand in the years to come. And India aims to rapidly raise its refining capacity from 254 million tons per annum to 450 million tons per annum by 2030, increasing the share of natural gas in the primary energy mix to 15% from the current level of just 6%. Billions of dollars of investments are likely to come into these sectors in these next 6 years, and the Indian gas sector alone is seeing investments of about 67. So it includes a range of energy sectors attracting investments and also poised to make India a global leader in energy as well. The next is about biomanufacturing for climate resilient agriculture, very much in tune with Bio-E3 policy launched by the Government of India in August 2024, a very new and a young and an infant policy of the Government of India. Biomanufacturing for climate resilient agriculture is a method that uses biotechnology to develop crops and livestock that can withstand climate change. And the goal is to improve soil health, increase crop yield, and also reduce the need for chemical inputs. Now, the Bio-E3 policy, which aims to make India a global leader in bio-based innovations, was launched in August 2024. It focuses on promoting sustainable biomanufacturing in diverse thematic areas like climate resilient agriculture, supporting economic growth while ensuring environmental sustainability as well. And India's first policy in biotechnology, Bio-E3, that is biotechnology for E3 stands for Economy, Environment and Employment Policy for fostering higher performance of biomanufacturing. The policy lays down framework for implementing of biomanufacturing and biofoundry initiative. The initiative will promote green growth in the country by transforming the country's consumptive manufacturing paradigm to one based on regenerative principles. And also biomanufacturing can provide solution to several of the challenges facing the living systems, coupled with engineering to produce bio-based products like biomass and waste resources as well. Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. It is it is touted as the world's largest domestic rooftop solar initiative, transforming India's energy landscape with a bold vision of supplying solar power to 1 crore households now by March 2027. By March 2025, the installations have already exceeded 10 lakh, with the numbers aiming to double by October 2025. And it was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 15th February 2024. The initiative aims to provide free electricity to the households by facilitating installation of rooftop solar power panels. And it has very serious benefits to the individual households, like free electricity to the household. The scheme provides households with free electricity through installation of subsidized rooftop solar panels, and reducing the energy cost, reduces electricity cost for the government by promoting widespread use of solar power on their rooftops. The scheme aims to reduce government's electricity cost by an estimated 75,000 crore rupees annually. And increased use of renewable energy. The scheme encourages the adoption of renewable energy like solar power, contributing to sustainability and also environmental health. And increase the mix of energy with India. Reduce carbon emissions. The transition to solar energy under the scheme will help to lower carbon emissions, supporting India's commitment to reduce the carbon footprint. And the third launch pad has been launched for Government of India for ISRO at Satish Dhawan Space Center. The first launch pad and the second launch pad were realized 30 years ago for the PSLV, the workhorse of ISRO, the rocket that launches various satellites, and it continues to provide launch support for PSLV and SSLV as well. The second launch pad was primarily established for GSLV and LV-M3 and also functions as a standby for PSLV. The second launch pad was operational for 20 years and has enhanced the launching capacity towards some commercial missions as well. However, the expanded vision of India's space program in the Amrit Kal, which includes the Bharatiya Antariksh Station by 2035, the India crewed lunar landing by 2040, requires newer generation of heavier launch vehicles with new propulsion systems, which cannot be provided by the existing two launch pads. And therefore, the expeditious establishment of the third launch pad to cater to the heavier launch vehicles or the next generation launch vehicles to carry the Bharatiya Antariksh Station and also the India crewed lunar landing by 2024 has led to the government to decide to establish a third launch pad in another 4 years. This was approved by the cabinet by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to establish a third launch pad at Satish Dhawan Space Center at Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh, and it will cater to the next generation launch vehicle of ISRO and also support as a standby for the second launch pad at Sriharikota. It will enhance India's launching capacity for future space missions, which is very, very important. Now, the third launch pad is designed to have a configuration that is universal, adaptable, and can support not only the next generation launch vehicles but also LV-M3 and vehicles with semi-cryogenic stage as well. And it will be realized with the maximum industry participation, fully utilizing ISRO's experiences in establishing launch pads and maximally sharing the existing launch capacity centers as well. The next is about Bharat Mobility Summit. Now, looking at India's mobility market, Bharat Mobility Summit was showcased 1,000 companies along with international delegations, highlighting India's booming auto component industry. The event emphasized on manufacturing and shift to electric vehicles for a cleaner and a greener earth, and technology innovation with hybrid vehicles as well. India's focus on R&D, digitization, sustainability aims to transform the sector and boost exports to almost $100 billion in the next decade. Organized by the Ministry of Commerce in collaboration with the EEPC, it is the third largest event of this kind and features many mobility countries from 40 countries, companies from 40 countries, and also country-specific pavilions, making India a truly global mobility destination. And the next issue is about the successful implementation of the space docking of the satellites. So docking is a process where two fast-moving spacecrafts are brought together to the same orbit and then closer to each other manually or autonomously, and finally they are joined together. This capability is necessary for carrying out missions that require heavier spacecraft to be launched that a single vehicle may not be capable to carry at once, and also for carrying crew and supplies to it, and also establishment of international space stations as well. The very first docking happened in 1966 by Gemini 8 spacecraft. It became the first to dock with Agena target vehicle. It was a crewed mission orbiting the Earth, and on board was Neil Armstrong, who went on to become the first person to set his foot on the moon in 1969. And while the US mission had astronauts on board, Soviet Union in 1967 demonstrated the first uncrewed docking mission with the Cosmos 186 and Cosmos 188, and now India becomes the fourth country after Russia, US, China to successfully dock the spacecraft. And with a vision to set up a space station by 2035 and sending humans to the moon in 2040, ISRO has been working on docking technology since a long time, and now recently it has successfully done it by SDX-01, that's the Chaser, and SDX-02 target satellites, which have docked successfully at a 475 kilometer circular orbit above Earth. And this is very helpful for even the Chandrayaan 4 and the Bharatiya Antariksh stations as well. So this is about the successful docking, and India, with the vision of setting up a space station by 2025 and sending humans by 2040, it has been working on this docking, which has successfully completed, and we are the fourth nation to do so. The next and the last issue is about the India's first private satellite constellation being launched by Pixel, giving a boost to private satellite companies in India and also increasing India's space prowess as well. The India Space Technology startup Pixel launched 3 of its hyperspectral imaging satellite on board SpaceX rocket from California. So hyperspectral technology will capture highly detailed data across hundreds of light bands to serve industries like agriculture, mining, environmental monitoring, and also defense. Such technology will help in delivering insights to improve crop yields, improving and benefiting India's agrarian economy, tracking resources, monitor oil spills, and also geographical boundaries in much better detail than the current technology that allows. The satellites will launch from the Vandenberg Space Force base, and it was a milestone for the country's growing private space sector and for Google's backed Pixel, the 5-year-old startup of Google. The last is about Ministry of Consumer Affairs now announcing a new open market scale scheme for 2024-25. This was launched by Minister of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. The policy aims to enhance food security and ensure efficient distribution of rice to various stakeholders, and it follows key decisions like fixation of the reserve price for rice. The reserve price for rice has been fixed for 2,250 per quintal pan-India, and the ethanol production support price has been fixed at 2,250 per quintal pan-India. The decision of the government aims to support the states in fulfilling their obligation to many food security schemes and also bolstering ethanol production as a part of the national energy strategy. These were the important topics I thought I should be tracking for you all for economy this week from January 12 to January 18. If you did, please do like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to comment at the end of the video. I shall see you in my next post. Until then, it's very happy learning.